Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join our webinar this morning. My name is Andy and I'm the Partner Alliance Manager for Bytes. I manage the partner ecosystem, which has been running for almost 10 years, with the aim of bringing best-of-breed partners to our customers. The ecosystem spans many workloads and technology areas, and today we are going to focus on unified communications with our premier partner, RingCentral. A quick bit of housekeeping: you will be muted throughout the webinar, but you are able to submit questions in the Q&A window throughout the webinar. There will be a session at the end to answer all of these questions, and we are recording the webinar for future reference. I will now pass you over to Pascal and Mark to introduce themselves and take you through the webinar.
Perfect. Thank you, Andy. And a very good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar today with our partner, Bytes. My name is Pascal, and I'm in charge and lead our solutions engineering team across EMEA for RingCentral. So we're very much a team of techies that work with partners and customers alike to make sure that we showcase our platform to the best of the abilities and making sure that the experience is as best as it can be. Mark, I'll just hand over to you for a quick introduction, and then we'll get started.
Okay, thanks, Pascal. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Finnegan. I'm a senior account executive for RingCentral. My specialist area is actually contact center. So my role really is to work with our customers to understand business outcomes and then work that back towards our technology so we can increase user adoption. So great to speak to you today. I'm going to hand back to Pascal now, and we'll get the thing going.
All right, thank you, Mark. So for the next 15 or 20 minutes or so, we'll have just a look at a few slides, and then we'll dive into an actual demonstration. And we'll highlight what exactly we're going to show you, and if you want to learn more, where to go next. Before we do that, just a quick notion. Obviously, our world has changed significantly over the last few months, and a lot of people are now working from home, of course. What we've seen as part of a service provider is a massive amount of increase on the both the unified communications and dovetailing into our contact center business as well. So a lot of people started using what they already had, solutions like Microsoft, of course, Office 365 and Teams, solutions like Google, Slack, and many others, and of course RingCentral as well. And it's just the way that the new normal is that allows us to kind of rethink about what is really important to us. And I think a lot of people would agree with this statement that it is more so than ever critical that solutions work for you all the time. Of course, we're now all at home. We're starting to go out more, obviously across the globe, and making sure that voice communication is 100% accurate and critical, as well as the ability to work in teams and working with internal stakeholders and external customers or partners. Everything is now deemed as mission critical. Email, which was for long a crucial business tool, has almost taken a backseat, and it's all about instant communication. And so the world, as we know it, has significantly changed. For many years, RingCentral spoke about any device, any mode, anywhere. That's really the basis of our organization. But then we also see things like easy to buy, easy to use, easy to manage, especially now that more people are outside of the office. It's about making sure that all of your, let's say, your administration portals are easily accessible from maybe your iPad or your mobile phone. You don't really have the time or the staff to continuously help people. They're at home. Maybe they go on walks. And maybe when we're back into the office, it becomes more of a hybrid workplace. So it has to be easy to use. And really, it should be simple and effective. And then, as we've seen in recent times with the massive amounts of increase on UCaaS providers, we have seen, of course, more questions about, do we trust the brand? Do we think that the brand is reliable? Are you global? Because we have people everywhere. And also, and this will be part of the demonstration today, how open are you as a platform to work with? And so it's no longer that employees, want to communicate. It's really a need that they have to be successful, to feel connected to the organization. And so we're seeing a lot of topics like wellness come up as part of the engagements with customers. Again, it's any mode, any device, and anywhere. And it has to work with the internet connections that your employees have. So today I want to focus on a solution that we have that is the RingCentral Office. We call it MVP, so messaging, video, and phone. And then we'll dovetail with Mark into the customer experience side of our business too. Again, easy to use, reliable, trustworthy, and open is what we're going to look at. And why customers find this interesting is because it's really all in one. So again, the topic today is also Microsoft Teams. And of course, if you have Microsoft Teams, why not use it? We want to show you, what we do and then how the integration works. But the feedback we get from customers is your solution is very effective. It looks very simple. When you first start with it, you think, is this what all the fuss is about? But then you discover it's very, very powerful, and it's really built to get things done, rather than look at all of the things that you could potentially do with it. However, we do have a lot of business apps integration, and we're going to focus on Microsoft Teams specifically today. And everything we do, whether it's voice or video messaging, everything is backed by a 5.9 SLA. And that is something that comes up a lot. How do you do that? Can you show that to us? And again, in customer engagements, we actually have all of these things available for you to share as we progress. And finally, we have an open platform. So Microsoft Teams, just at the top of the slide, is something we're seeing a lot every single day. How do you integrate with something that we already have? We've started using it throughout the COVID-19. We want to do more. What can you do RingCentral to help? But then it's also about how can you serve all of your use cases. So Microsoft Teams typically a centralized IT platform and decision, but you have things maybe like a CRM, like Salesforce, or maybe HubSpot or others, Soho. You may also have engineering teams who are on Slack today, and you want to be able to offer them the same functions as you do for Microsoft. We're seeing a lot of different use cases, both for those modalities, so voice, adding voice into your Microsoft Teams, adding video into your LMS system. So when you do recordings and depending on the type of business you want to use those after the event. We're seeing questions about, can you guys do that for Kaltura, Panopto, Zendesk for your ticketing? The key takeaway is that we have an open platform. We integrate with many, many other leading providers out there. And it's really about adding value to applications that you already use. And if you wanted to see which ones we have, I will go into the demonstration. I will show you the page. But the website is ringcentral.com/apps. And just have a look of the things that we're already doing today. And of course, if you're seeing something that is not on the list, just work with your Bytes account manager and us, and we can have a look at what we can do next. So the demonstration today will just be a snapshot of how do I use the technology in my kind of day-to-day work. I'll show you the application gallery, and then I'll give you a quick demo for Microsoft Teams. So let me come out of my presentation and just flick over to my application. And the first thing I'm going to show you is just a demo space that I've set up. And this is something I typically start with. This is my production environment. So everything here is where I work today. And it really shows you how someone within RingCentral uses it. I happen to use it in a browser. I quite like the idea of everything has a tab, and I don't have to go anywhere else to get my work done. But you can also use this as an application on your phone or your tablet, whether you're on Microsoft with an application, Mac or Linux. We're agnostic to how you want to use it, and this just happens to be how I choose. So a couple of things to call out. We have integration with, for example, Microsoft OneDrive. If you wanted to share files, you can do that from your OneDrive directly, and we'll follow all of the rules and policies you have in place there. So things like Excel, Word documents, PowerPoints, whatever you want to share, you can do so. Also from your local computer, if you have a file offline, you want to bring it in, we will also do that versioning control for you, so you don't have multiple copies of the same thing. I can create events that shows, we had one the other day called Appreciation Day, very much kind of calling out colleagues and people in the company of what do you appreciate from each other. Just a nice, working from home type initiative to stay in touch. I can share links. I can create tasks as well. This is really easy if you work with people on a project. And again, the whole UI is built around simplicity. It's really, really clean. It's simple to use. And you don't really have to explain that much to end users. They just get on with it and start using it. You can create notes quickly. Hey, let's work together on something. So once you load that, it just brings up a simple UI where you can collaborate in real time. And then the final thing I'll show you is, or maybe two things. We also have integrations with bot frameworks. So if you wanted to take that next step into looking at, what are your business and your workflows, this is just an example how we use a bot internally to just remind ourselves, what are the top kind of resources that we use around security. So anyone in the team can simply address the bot in a group space and call out security, and the bot will respond to say, this is what I have on that topic. From here, you can also start interactive sessions, like a quick video call here in the top right, an audio call, and anything really you want to do. If I want to swap over to an application, I can quickly just type in someone's name, brings everything up. And here you can see I've just called them out to say I've got a quick demo to show you. And I just wanted to show this as we go into Microsoft Teams here in a second. This is someone's contact card. So from here, I can engage across all of those modalities, whether it's calling someone, whether it's to message Kitson, or to start an actual video call. So everything is pulled back here from this content card. I'll stop there because it's not a full demonstration here. It's just a quick snapshot of how we use it internally. And I'll move on to the second part, which is the application gallery. So again, the address is ringcentral.com/apps. Anything that we've already built is basically inclusive, right, of the service. You don't have to pay anything else. Of course, some of the applications have licensing, like Microsoft Office 365. Of course, you need your own license, Dynamics, and so on. The one thing I would like to stress is that we integrate on a wide variety of ways with Microsoft. First of all, we're in the browser. So today we have Chrome. We're releasing the Edge, the Safari, and the Firefox next. Anywhere in a web page, we can support click-to-call. So again, that's something that's really useful for a user to be able to make calls depending on where they go in their browser. As you can see, we have a variety of Microsoft integrations. We have Dynamics, we have Microsoft Teams, we have Outlook. Also wanted to call out this one in particular. The demo I'm going to show you today is our native integration into Teams, just to add the calling and anything else you want. If you are looking for a 100% native Microsoft solution and you don't like the UI that we bring, you like the idea of maybe E5 with maybe direct routing, I just wanted to call this one out. Effectively, we can connect our RingCentral servers to your Teams, and you wouldn't know any different from what we're about to show you. Okay, so with that, I'm going to show you the Microsoft integration, and I'm just going to overlay this here. So what I'm showing you here is the thick line that we have for the desktop. Just note that the integrations that we have basically are unlocked with the small R icon here in the bottom. So the scenario is very much to say you're working in Teams. You do not want to uplift your licensing to go phone system license and then a dial plan. You like the idea of the 5 nines, the reliability, it's open, you can do whatever you want with it, but you also want that Microsoft Teams integration. So in this case, I've got Kitson here, one of my SEs. All I need to do is click on the R, and what it's going to do is basically find the contact details that we have for Kitson. It checks both on the RingCentral side as well as the Microsoft side. And again, the contact card that it pulls back does both. So I can see the details he's got in 365 or Active Directory. I can see any extension that he has here. And when I click on phone, it will essentially bring up my soft client. There we go. I'm just going to hang that up. So this works together with the native soft phone client that we have for, again, any device. This is our kind of off-the-shelf integration for Teams. It works together with the clients of your choice, whether it's just our dedicated phone client or whether you like that experience I showed you before. And then finally, if you would like to be more native than this and you want to use the actual audio call button in Microsoft Teams, we also have an integration through our app gallery. So with that, I'm going to stop the share now and hand over to Mark.
Thanks, Pascal. Yeah. 2 seconds. Okay. So, hi everybody again. Quick reminder, Mark Finnegan, CC Sales at RingCentral, so supporting Bytes today. So just going to walk you through 10-15 minutes around what our contact center offer looks like and kind of, what we're doing in the marketplace today. So, our story, our theme is around, the contact center has kind of evolved. It's not just about customers calling in and agents dealing with them. It's about that nirvana that we've talked about for the last few years around how do you bring in other people? How do you break down those barriers and extend that functionality? And so you can improve first call resolution. So in essence, an agent is on the phone and they're answering a query, but maybe they don't have all that functionality, all that information to hand. So they can reach off into finance, into a back office colleague. And while they're on the phone with the actual customer, they can get the information required and essentially handle that there and then. So first call resolution is a big metrics. When you get first call resolution correct, then you drive better customer experience and really then, both sides of the thing are happy. And how do we do that is we do that by binding our rich UC suite with a rich contact center suite. And as my colleague has just said, communication preferences have evolved. Employees expect and need the ability to work from anywhere on any device. I'm sure all of you, regardless of COVID, pick up your phone in the morning, you check if you've got any SMSs from colleagues, maybe check the messaging platform, have a quick look at your email, so whatever device you're working on is really how you want to interact. And that's really what we're saying here. So a few years ago, voice was predominantly the channel that we saw in the contact center. Most things were office-based. Remote agents were maybe some of the more forward-thinking companies kind of tinkered around with it. We had reporting in silos, so we were doing voice, we were doing some email, we were doing some text. They were kind of point solutions, very, very siloed and very much on-premise. Cloud was kind of a slow adopter in contact center. But now, COVID has absolutely taken out those last few barriers of cloud. But we also see the channels have greatly increased. So we have the traditional voice. We shouldn't forget the traditional voice channel. But SMS, text, WhatsApps, these channels, there's a new channel every single day. And more importantly, as I've already said, on any device and being used from anywhere. to actually see what's happening there, we need very comprehensive analytics that kind of run through our platform. And this is not just on Contact Centre, on our UC platform as well. Those analytics are running very deep. Very open platform, as Pascal mentioned, in the UC platform. So we want to be able to leverage what our customers already have. So those investments in those big data, those enterprise applications, those rich CRMs such as Salesforce, not only do you want to be able to write to those platforms, but ideally we want to be able to take that segmented information and be able to route more intelligent with it and personalize that experience for the customer coming in. And very simple things we can do through database driven routing. So if I've called in, we can set a metric that says if I call in again within an hour, then we can assume that it's probably about the same topic. So route me to the same agent. So very simple things like that. And we want to be able to do it, it's moved from an on-premise rule to globally. Yeah. And it's also changed for the other side of the coin. Yeah, customer engagement has changed as well. As customers expect to interact with you effortlessly across every single channel. And we've moved from the then model, that company-centric service, around 9 to 5 on voice, email, or chat, very reactive, and then, time-consuming to deal with these people, to, customers want to be able to interact 24/7 on any channel. So we see, especially today, a huge uptake in WhatsApp, in SMS, so we call it digital deflection, which is being very much driven by COVID. So people are taking voice traffic away and moving it to digital just to give themselves some breathing space. And a very proactive service, so not always waiting for the customer to reach out to you, but you reaching out to the customer. A good example of that is kind of doctor's appointments, yeah? So a quick SMS saying, remember you have this doctor's appointment on Thursday, look forward to seeing you. 360 view of exactly what's happening in the contact center. And then going back to that CRM, that integration piece, that individual contact with the actual contact center. So me as a customer, when I ring in or when I contact you on any digital media, you know who I am. So this kind of goes down to where we are today. So we call this the collaborative contact center. Now at RingCentral, where we see things slightly differently. To us, communications really falls into two distinct areas. So we have employee communications, those internal conversations that are constantly happening, and customer communications, and this is between the organization and their customers. And RingCentral provides the help that customers need in order to increase productivity in both these areas. On this particular diagram, what we're seeing is that on the right-hand side, that's representative of our rich unified communications platform. The very minimum, the cloud PBX, with really rich messaging, up to full rich collaboration, but also that open platform that allows us to talk to invested enterprise solutions such as Microsoft Teams, such as integration into HubSpot, into G Cloud, all these great things that enterprises have invested in. And then moving around to the left-hand side, we see, the contact center as a service platform, which is, at the very least, your inbound contact center, your outbound contact center, rich workforce optimization, and that digital customer service as well. So we kind of refer to that as omni-digital, a word for us, but it's about any channel at any time. And briefly touching, around this, so first of all, it's pure cloud-based. RingCentral is a software as a services company, so we don't offer any hardware, but we allow our customers that preference in that, there could be estates that you come across where, you definitely need a handset. A handset is the only thing that will serve you. So we partner with people that we've tested our software with, and you can have a handset on your desk within the license, and you just pay for the handset. So true cloud-based. Our DNA is absolutely cloud, so we've not picked our on-premise solution up and moved it to a data center. we were born in it, so our DNA is actually cloud. We are true omni-channel. We don't just say we're omni-channel. So, there are two variants in the market today. There's what we call multi-channel and omni-channel. So multi-channel is that, to my earlier conversation, we can serve all these different channels, but they're very siloed. Omni-channel is where we can serve all of these particular channels, but we actually know the touch points of the customer. So we can be able to move through these different channels, still understanding who the customer is and the theme and the thread of that conversation. And our platform, from a single agent interface, we can support any of these actual interactions, these new channels, these existing channels. So from a usability perspective, from a training perspective, it's very quick to deploy, in that the agent only needs to know this one interface, and regardless of where they are or what they're doing, they're serving every channel through it. And what you get when you get this is you get kind of these happy agents, yeah? So we make it really twofold. You invest in the agents, they do a good job, they speak to our customers in a nicer, friendlier way, which drives customer experience, I hear a lot in my role, and I'm sure you've heard it in yours, what can we buy? What technology can we buy to improve customer experience? Well, probably none, because customer experience is kind of something we do or something that happens. But what we provide is rich technology, rich innovation under that. So we drive this better agent experience, better user experience, and that in turn drives better customer experience. So, we have a lot of things. So like I say, we're predominantly inbound, outbound voice. We have that omni-channel routing. The important takeaways on these slides are, IVR. If you ever had a lovely dealings with IVR, it tends to be a 6-month cycle of consultancy, and then you deploy something, yeah. So ours is very much a graphical drag and drop interface for building all our omni-channel solutions. An IVR for us goes all the way from DTMF, so press your 1 for sales, 2 for service, all the way up to automated speech recognition. So, speak your account number, speak your ID number, that type of service. And the compliance is really important. We touched on the slide earlier. You can see it on this slide. Global, secure, and reliable is a thread that runs through it. And so our service is active-active. So should RingCentral lose a data center, we have seamless failover to our second data center that ensures 100% of service and 100% of features. So a really important part of it. And we talked about that analytics, very rich reporting that comes with our system. And then the outbound side of things, so we have manual dialing, maybe not so surprising, that one. But we have automated dialing as well. So we can go from preview dialing to progressive dialing to predictive dialing. And all of that, all the tools in there, the pacing algorithms, all that kind of rich functionalities there, so you can stay within the Ofcom regulations as well. We also offer agent scripting, so we can tell your agents what they should be saying as well. And the richness of having all of this in one platform is that capability to blend. So imagine a scenario where your inbound traffic hits a spike and suddenly your SLA is in breach. We can automatically move people out of an outbound campaign into an inbound campaign and protect that SLA. When the SLA has reached its threshold of being back in the green, and it's done that for a period of time, we can start to move agents back into the outbound campaign to carry on with that piece of work as well. So automated blending, seamless blending between inbound and outbound. And then we have the optimization piece. So the optimization piece is more the traditional wraparound for that voice service. But on our service, it's not just about voice. It's about different channels. So we have a rich suite of modules that wrap around this that provide, enhanced scheduling, adherence reporting that we refer to as workforce management. We allow your supervisors or evaluators to actually look at the agents and it's very much, is this a carrot or a stick? We see it very much as a carrot. You know, we allow them to evaluate agents. So the system will go out, will take a percentage of calls, and we'll present them back to an evaluator along with the preset scorecards, and you can score those calls listening to it on your interface without having to go and use your Excel spreadsheet and dig through a million calls. So we can do that, all reportable, all through that rich analytics. Those scorecards can then be sent to the agents. The agent can agree, disagree. We can moderate. So there's multiple tools built in there, but essentially it's about that agent retention, increasing the skill base of your agents, improving and tweaking on that customer experience. And performance management, we have rich kind of gamification tools in there. So we can do trading between different agents. So this is one of the latest things in the contact center, and this is very much around the innovation piece. So imagine a scenario where there's extra shifts that are coming up. You know, maybe your top agents are allowed to bid for those shifts first. And what happens is that if they're constantly hitting their SLAs, rather than having kind of loads of figures everywhere, they win kind of trophies that are all done in a very graphical manner. And they can use those trophies, virtual trophies, to bid for extra shifts. And it devolves itself round. So your top 10 get the first go, your second 10, and you can make it very fair and competitive within the contact center, but friendly competitive, as opposed to the traditional manner, having a wallboard with, you know, you've answered so many calls or 29 calls of abandon, which kind of mentally is quite hard to consume. And then speech analytics. Speech analytics is that 360 view of the contact center. So traditionally, you know, when I speak to a lot of our customer base or our partners, you know, what people normally have is some kind of process for managing customers as opposed to a customer journey. What speech analytics allows you to do is have a look at that 360 view of the contact center and be able to see exactly what's happening within it. So we can actually do sentiment-based analysis. And with sentiment-based analysis, we can see whether the customer's happy or sad during the call, and also whether the agent's happy or sad during the call. So you can see very simple trends very quickly. It could be at the start of the day, between 9 and 10 on the Monday morning, a percentage of your agents might be a bit grumpy, just because it's that Monday morning feeling. And towards the end of the shift, it could be the same. So some very simple things like you can pre-record announcements, you know, so the agent always sounds happy when they answer the phone. You know, you'll be able to see those trends happening through the contact center. You can also word spot. So imagine if you're a mortgage company where you have to say your calls are recorded, or you have to fill in this form, or something like that. The speech analytics can actually look through every single call, and it can see where the calls are being, where those words are being said, or more importantly, where they're not being said, and flag that within the actual transcription. So it takes your voice calls and transcribes them to text. And within that text, you can see exactly what happens within the text. You can even look for words within it. And it also free flows. So if you don't really know what's happening at the moment, then you don't have to preset anything and just let it run. And what it will start to do, it'll start to see trends within the actual contact center, and it presents those as word bubbles. And the word bubbles are in different, depending on how you want to set them up, but the bigger the word bubble, the more it's being said in the contact center. So maybe 3 or 4 months ago, maybe COVID would have been a very big word bubble. But it could be that broken zip, you know, is something that's being said in a contact center. And very quickly, you can see that maybe you had a faulty batch that went out, and you can proactively change your systems in the background to be able to make sure you have a better answer around that as well. So then we have kind of artificial intelligence, and we have chatbots that are also built into our system, but using that open system, we can talk to many other things. So it's very simple for us to be able to talk to Google AI, if that's a preference within your business as well. That smart routing already touched on, you know, but it can be as smart as you need it to be. It's simple things like dipping into the CRM and routing based on what happened the last time that customer interacted with you. Simple things like somebody may be dialing in for a loan, but actually they have a credit card debt. So reroute them automatically to be able to talk to the right people in order to be able to assist them better. And very much, we talked around this, it's very much a shared architecture. Yeah? So the telephony architecture helps bring the entire company together, and that actually delivers the best possible customer and agent experience. Yeah. We have really rich functionality, the broadest set of functionality in the industry, and it spans all the way from our own telephony network, call routing, digital customer engagements, incredibly powerful administration tools, all the way through to those supervisor capabilities and full and robust workforce optimization suites. But the thing is about it, it's simple. It's very browser-based, and it's very simple to use. So the whole system, the whole platform is built on the perspective of the user, not IT. And that's run by a security engine, so you can really devolve that responsibility as you see fit. And bringing those two platforms together, we can kind of bring that global telephony. So as Pascal said, 5 nines on the UC suite, 4 nines on the actual contact center, but the contact center uses the UC suite. So what we can do is absolutely guarantee the underlying voice. So company-wide collaboration. So we talked about very simply a customer to agent. That's obvious. An agent to supervisor, supervisor to manager, a manager to somebody in the back office, all being done simultaneously, all being done to drive first call resolution. That one vendor relationship is really important to RingCentral, and it's something that we're very proud of, really. So, it's not just about all this rich collaboration. The average contact center manages around about 20 vendor relationships. We can bring all of that down, so you're managing one vendor relationship, which is really important and really simple, so you can focus on what's important to you. As we said, we kind of do go on about this one quite a bit, but it is really important. As per the UC suite, the CC suite is exactly the same. Yeah. So we have native integrations, productized integrations. So it's incredibly quick to do a fully integrated experience with something like Salesforce. So buy the connector, drop it into Salesforce, and then your customer's agent never needs to come out to Salesforce. They live entirely in Salesforce. All the calls are taken in there, the reporting is done in there. We can amalgamate our reporting in with Salesforce as well. We have that built-in redundancy, so there's nothing more frustrating than a feature that you can't do without that's suddenly not there at some point in the day. And we have that rich app gallery, as we do on the UC suite, that RingCentral customers can leverage. So we have 3 different types of interface. We have productized interfaces, we have open interfaces, which are kind of pre-built interfaces into multiple applications, so the concept of an app store. And then we have fully publicized APIs, so we don't hide any part of our system from our customers and our partners. If you have a web-based service in your environment that you want to talk to, that you want to telephony enable, we can provide those APIs. RingCentral can do that work for you. Our partners can do that work for you, or even our customers, if they have a development team, they can do that work on their own as well. And this is the piece that, I personally quite like. It's available everywhere. So as I said, it's browser-based. So have a look at the scenario we unfortunately find ourselves in today. RingCentral's customers, browser-based platform, they could literally just send their agents home and ask them to log in. No VPNs, fully authenticated, fully encrypted service. Our customers were up and running in minutes with 100% of the functionality. And we don't differentiate between an office agent and a remote agent. It is exactly the same interface. So there's no retraining whatsoever involved in it. But we also realize that people working in other countries not necessarily want to be looking at an English interface, so we localize our interfaces as well. And that global compliance piece is really important, specifically in contact center, if not more so than UC. So our contact center data centers are already PCI DSS accredited. So PCI DSS level 2, active data centers are included in every license that we sell. So that takes away a lot of the stress of the infrastructure for when you're sat in front of your QSA. But we're also SOC tested with Sarbanes-Oxley when you move about the UK. So data sovereignty is top and foremost. So security very much built in, not bolted on our platform, as is resiliency, as is redundancy. And then just to summarize, our global telephony platform, we can offer rich minute-based bundles so we can reduce savings for that type of telephony. Highest quality voice. I talked earlier about our contact center sits on top of our UC suite. So we're taking that 5 nines quality voice and offering that out to our customers, the highest importance. And I believe we are one of the few actual companies worldwide that actually offer quality and uptime SLAs contractually in our offerings to our customers as well. And we do that via 29 global data centers, providing both local and global services. Collaboration piece, we assured directories, those single sign-ons, those ability to transfer between different agents, and something unique to RingCentral is something that we refer to as Pulse. So take your contact center manager. He's mobile, he may have different sites. He wants to be able to understand what's happening in the contact center, but he doesn't want to log in as an agent, and the CFO really doesn't want to pay for an agent license for him. So we have the ability to send contact center information, key information, through to our UC clients. So these could be breach of SLAs, no agents logged into skills, whatever you want to send out, we can send that through to a UC client. Our UC clients are available on any device. So a call center manager driving between sites pauses for a coffee, looks at his phone, and he can see breaches of SLAs or whatever it may be happening in the contact center. Because it's in part of our messaging platform, he can quickly say to the contact center supervisor, what's going on? You can quickly reply, I'll get somebody to log in there now. Now, I'm sure proactively, she's already completely aware because of the amazing tools we have, but that's kind of the scenario, that's kind of the power of the collaboration in there as well. That one vendor relationship, we bring other things. Yeah, we're very transparent as a company. We have a high level of integrity. We know we just want to get things sorted for our customers. We have very simple contact center and UC bundles, very simple administration. We are a service provider, a licensed service provider, so our customers can port their numbers to us and we can run them all within a central portal. And most important stat of all, in the contact center world, our retention rate is 99.4%. So customers that join RingCentral will have to tend to stay with RingCentral. You know, so our customer loyalty very much works both ways for our partners, for our customers, for RingCentral. You know, we invest in you and our customers invest in us. Thank you very much. That's the end of my presentation. I'll hand back to Andy for Q&A.
Thanks, Mark. Just looking, I don't think we've actually received any questions from anyone as yet. But if anybody wants to any information on anything, then either call it out now and just type into the Q&A box, or if you wanted to contact your Bytes account manager to discuss that at all. So I'll just give us 30 seconds for anyone to answer any questions. So we've just had one come through. So it says, can you work with the BYO bot? Who wants to go on that one, Mark or Pascal?
I can't see that question. What was that question, sorry, Andy?
Can you work with BYO bot?
As in bring your own bot?
I presume so, yeah.
Yeah, yes, we can. So we have the ability within our system to build what I would refer to as mechanical bots. So things like frequently asked questions. We can build that intelligence in. We also have the intelligence to say when we reach a certain point that we can kind of hand off to an internal skill to deal with that. So that's, that bot is doing that pre-agent. But because of our open environment, we can literally talk to any third-party bot as well. So, we work with customers recently who've got a medical bot. So we do a bit of the routing and we do the reporting, but the medical bot itself is integral within our system, handling those very specific queries. Thanks, Alan. Hope that answered your question, sir.
Okay, just had another one come through. Does RingCentral have live streaming software which supports multi-party broadcasting?
So on the UCaaS side, we don't have one that takes different feeds from different sources, like let's say a video room or encoders as such. That is coming actually with our RingCentral video solution that we released about 2 or so months ago. So that is only what customers are asking us to do. We're just not quite there yet today. So today the solution is very much pretty much what we're using here today. We can go up to 10,000 users. We can have multiple people present. I think it's up to 500 video feeds. But the video feeds themselves are very much webcam based rather than anything more advanced. So hope that answers the question.
Yes, so he said, okay, so will it be a feature on RingCentral Video?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, happy with that one. Any other questions at all?
Did I see one coming through on the chat rather than the Q&A? How secure is the RingCentral platform? We could probably speak for another webinar on that one. So the RingCentral platform, as we mentioned, both Pascal and myself mentioned that security is something that's very much integral to our service as opposed to bolted on. But it's both. We do have, walls of firewalls. We have session border controllers. We have encryption at a software level where we're independently tested, pen tested, all SOC tested, all the way through. So, if any partner, if any customer requires access to any of those reports or a session, we can absolutely, we don't need to convince you. Third parties prove that we're very secure. So we have all of that to hand.
Yeah, and maybe to add, Mark, with this whole COVID-19, we've actually seen our security teams work much more outwards than ever before. So one thing that they've done is within the administration portal, you can actually pull down all of the security reports, whether it's your SOC 2 reports, whether it's PCI, whether it's the ISOs, anything you need is there. But then also from a technology perspective, so a lot of questions, about one of our partners, about how they do certain things, and so we've certainly seen an increase in questions as such, and luckily we've been able to answer those because we host our own infrastructure and control that. But one thing that we're doing, and it's kind of tied into maybe the previous question as well, we're seeing an increased demand for WebRTC type technology. So discussions around, do you trust the provider's app for the OS, so let's say Windows or Mac, or do you rely on your browser, whether it's Chrome today, whether it's Safari, whether it's Edge or Firefox next. The browser, and especially Chrome, we are a Google, I guess, co-developer. So we're part of that same program to bring WebRTC to the next level. And one of the applications is that RingCentral Video that we spoke about before. So leveraging what's already on your endpoint, whether it's a phone or anything else, removing that need for an app download increases your security coverage enormously. So just wanted to add that in.
Okay, thanks, guys. We've got another question. It says the voice is 5 nines reliable, but is the video also 5 nines reliable too, or is this 4 nines reliable?
So again, today for this one, we're using our Powered by Zoom. The infrastructure is 5 nines for uptime and availability. What we're pushing for is again on the RingCentral video. Everything we do is 5 nines, but it depends on the components on the Zoom side. So yes is the answer, but probably worth the discussion so we can give you some more insights into that.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Okay, in that case, I think we can wrap it up there. If there are any further questions, as I said, please feel free to contact your Bytes account manager for any further information, and we can obviously relay any messages through to the RingCentral guys. Thank you all for joining, and thank you, Mark, and thank you, Pascal, for presenting today.
Thank you,
Thanks so
everyone.
much.